faculty in the Center for Artificial Intelligence and Data Science since June 2021. He was an associate professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering from September 2013 to December 2018. He had been with the Department of Mathematics, Indian Institute of Technology, Roorkee from September 2004 to September 2013, where he was an associate professor and head of the Computer Vision, Graphics, and Image Processing Laboratory. He is a guest professor, visiting researcher, and a member of many colleges. He received his PhD in Mathematics 2001 from the Indian Institute of Technology, Madras. He obtained his BSc and MSc Gold Medalist in the Department of Mathematics from the University of Madras in 1994 and 1996 respectively. He has published more than 160 international journals, 150 conference proceedings, 7 book chapters, and a technical report. His area of research includes computer vision, like optical flow problems, fractional transform theory, wavelet analysis, image and video processing, multimedia security, in that digital watermarking, cyber. He was completed 14 research project and 5 ongoing projects, and he was completed 5 consultancy projects also. Now I hand over the session to Professor Dr. R. Balasubramanian sir. Sir, kindly take over the session.
Okay, thank you, Professor Kavita, for the brief introduction.
Thank you, sir.
I'll share my slides. I hope my slide is visible.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Sir, slideshow, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So very good morning, everyone. I thank Dr. Ambed Kumar and Dr. Kavita to give me this opportunity to have a talk on this FTP. And I also thank Professor Murugavelli, madam. So I am Balasubramanian, professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering, and also a joint faculty in the Center for Artificial Intelligence and Data Science at IIT Roorkee. And the title of my today's talk is Introduction to Computer Vision. So as the FTP is based on the deep learning applications in computer vision, so you should know first what is computer vision. All right, so it is basically whenever we are seeing the 3D object, let us consider the human vision. All right, so we know that the images are storing in the retinal eye, and then from there we are able to reconstruct this 3D world. So what will happen, the same scenario if we talk in terms of computer, right? So what if computer sees? That is called computer vision. So in order to learn computer vision, right? As I said, when either robo is seeing or the human is seeing, the 3D objects are stored as images. So the image processing play a vital role, right? The digital image processing is playing a vital role. So what do you mean by digital image? So digital image, it's like a M cross N matrix, right? Any image, we are divided into M in the x-axis and N in the y-axis, and then, right? So we are representing it in terms of pixels, right? So mathematically, it is nothing but f of xy. Maybe I'll use the board for better understanding. I'll use the board. Fine. Right. So any image if I take, I will represent this by f of xy, the functional value, a two-dimensional function. So that means at any point xy, right? If I consider a point xy, which we are going to study this as a pixel, right? At any pixel, you will have the value. For example, if I consider a 8-bit image, it will have the values between the f of xy value will be between 0 to 255, right? All are integers. If it is a 8-bit, right? 8-bit image. And then in general, k-bit image will have 0 to 2 power k minus 1. What will be your gray level values? So now, if I represent this in a spatial coordinate, right, along x-axis and y-axis, I am normalizing, I will get the small entity. All right. So what is that small entity? The small entity is nothing but the pixels. Right. So they are nothing but the pixel. So I talked about the coordinate plane. So which is a discrete values, which are having discrete values, a finite plane. So in the finite plane, you will have set of pixel coordinates and each coordinate will have the value. Right. So when I represent the each coordinate values, the coordinate values are nothing but the picture elements or image elements, or everybody knows that it is a pixel. Right. So I talked about the coordinates. So the coordinates look like this. So if you look at here, so if I ask you to draw any graph, right? I ask you to draw, let us say y is equal to sin x, or y is equal to any function f of x. So what will you do? Maybe what will you do? So you draw, right, along x-axis. In fact, I have to use the line, right? So you will have a coordinate axis like this, right? And then you can say that this is x-axis and this is y-axis, and then you draw the diagram, and then you draw the graph, right? The graph is f of x, y is equal to f of x. So now my question is, when I talk about computer vision or robotic vision, why we are considering this left-handed system? Do you know the answer? All right. So in the ordinary graph, if I draw, I usually consider the coordinate system like this, right? So I can draw anything, whatever, even it's a line, parabola. I draw x-axis like this and y-axis like this. Whereas when we want to represent the digital image in terms of computer vision or robotic vision, right? So why we consider left-handed system like this? That means the x coordinate goes like this, right? So in this direction, and y-axis in this direction, right? And then the image is being represented, right? So you may be using Python, you may be using MATLAB, you may be using OpenCV, Open Computer Vision, right? So any software you use, your image is being read like this. Do you know what is the reason? Or if you consider this screen, right? So in this screen, where you are looking, right, either by mobile or laptop or a computer, right? So the top left corner is considered as the origin. So this is your origin. Whereas in the usual coordinate system, this is your origin. You have, right, negative x and a negative y. It goes like this, x dash and y dash I put. So the origin is being considered here, and x coordinate is here, y coordinate. So your usual graph representation. So whereas here my top left corner is the origin, x axis go like this and y axis go like this. Do you know what is the reason? So the reason is, in fact, you know very well. You might have studied this in your 6th standard or 7th standard. All right. So the reason is, whenever you are seeing a 3D ball, when the human is seeing the 3D ball, or any living being is seeing the 3D ball, right? In the retinal plane, this will be stored as a image. This will be stored as a, in fact, inverted image. Right? So everyone might have done the convex lens practical. In fact, in your 12th standard itself. All right, convex lens. So when I talk about convex lens, what will happen? So you might have given this a light candle. All right, if you recall, all of you might have done. Right? So your candle light will be there. So candle light, you are projecting through convex lens, and you might have seen in the image plane, it will be like an inverted position, right? It will give you an inverted position. Then you will calculate the focal length, right? This practical all you might have done. So recall convex lens. So the convex lens is very much related to the digital image processing, computer vision, etc. Or the human vision, particularly human vision, right? We have two eyes, both the eyes are having convex lens. So based on this convex lens only, we can able to see the entire world. So we have left eye, right eye, and from these two eyes, we can able to see the entire world. All right. So based on this human vision, the concept of computer vision started in the 1960s or even before that. All right. So whatever research you are seeing in this world, it is based on the biological reasons, right? Biological concept. So based on the human vision, researchers have done the concept of computer vision and robotic vision, etc. Correct. So when we study about computer vision, we need the basics of digital image processing, computer graphics, etc. So here you can see in this coordinate, okay, now you understood, because of the inverted position of the image in the eye, it is represented like this. The researchers are representing this like this. So x-axis towards down and y-axis horizontal. And then when I am dividing, so each are nothing but the pixels. So if I consider this, this is nothing but a pixel. So this is one of the pixels, right? So this is nothing but a pixel. So we are dividing, we are normalizing along x-axis and along y-axis. All right. So this is the reason the left-handed system, and you can see the origin is being considered like this, right? So if I present this screen, if I ask where is the origin, so this will be your origin. Here you go. This will be your origin. All right. Blue, or even I can put it. Sorry, I'll just mute my. Yeah, so this will be your origin. So here you go. So here you can see this is your origin. The top left corner is the origin in this slide. So the reason is because of the human vision system, the image in the retinal plane will be stored in the inverted position. Or if you look at the convex lens, right, the practical, when you use the candle light, right? So after reflecting right, after pass through the convex lens, your the light will be in the inverted position. Right. So this is the reason the left-handed system is being used. So you might have used Python, you might have used MATLAB, right? Look at what about the coordinates. You pray IMView. IMView can be helpful in MATLAB. You locate, right, where exactly your pixel position. In the pixel position, you can see x-axis go like this and y-axis go like this, right? And then you may ask the question, but when you look at the image, we can able to see in the straight position, right? Or when you're capturing an image using your mobile phone, right? You may ask the question, it is in the straight position. Then how can you say that it is in the inverted position? Okay, I have an answer for this. We will talk about that, right? I will talk about that. Okay, so any image when you digitize, right? Suppose you assume that this is an M cross N image. When you digitize, so the digitization goes like this. So each functional value, the two-dimensional, the functions of two variables, right? F of x comma y, will get the value, right? For example, if it is a 8-bit image, all Fij's are between 0 to 255. So any image, any data you are given, you are digitizing. For example, this may be your image data. Let us say this may be your video data, right? Video data. It's a multi-dimensional file. Each second you can find right, hundreds of frames. Each second. Assume that you are given 30 minutes video. Nowadays CCTV is very popular. Right? So each second you will have hundreds of frames. Assume that 30 minutes. So multiply everything for the 30 minutes. So it's a very big multimedia data. Right? You can able to digitize, convert everything into matrix. What about satellite image data? Yes, you can do that. Hyperspectral image data. You will have the band. It looks like a XY plane, but you have several bands. The band may be like 220, 256, etc. So M cross N cross the number of bands. So M cross N cross K, three-dimensional. Again, you make it as a matrix. So every data can be represented as a matrix. Right. So this is where your mathematics and images, right, or image processing involved. Right. Image processing is a subset of computer vision. Right. Computer vision is a huge field. And then image processing is a part of it. So image, everything you are converting into a matrix. And then you do the matrix processing. Basically, you are doing a mathematics. Right? Many used to ask, where is mathematics here? Right? The concept computer vision, I am going to refer a book. At the last, I will let you know. It's a complete mathematics. In the book, you can find the complete mathematics. Right? Once you are not so successful in spatial domain, you are moving into frequency domain, like a Fourier transform, wavelet transform. All right, and then several regression analysis will be useful to handle the data. Right, your image data will be given like this in the 1980s, and to the end of 2000, people have used the regression and neural network to process, right, to train your model. Right, and then now we are in the deep learning era. Right, so you give any problem, I can able to train and solve it. All right, so that is what the world we are. So given any infinite set of images, any huge data of video, right? So we can able to process, we can able to train, we can able to get the output. So everything we can do right now with the help of the deep learning world, with the help of the deep learning concepts. So now, when you are given a digital image, the digital image, right? So you have to handle. All right. When you talk about the deep learning applications in computer vision, so several images in the form of images, in the form of video, in the form of hyperspectral data, right? In the form of multidimensional data. Right. So when I talk about the digital image, so digital image look like this. It's a 8-bit gray level image. So 8-bit gray level image means I will have 2 power 8 gray level values. So 0 to 255, 256 gray level values I have. And then slightly things have improved, right? Once, right, earlier version, people used to see the gray level image in the picture, right? 1970s, 1960s. If you look at movies, they use gray level images. We say black and white, right? So here 0 to 255, 256 gray level values. 0 represents black and 255 represents white. So mixture of these, we call it as a gray level. Then things have improved, right? So you have RGB plane. Under this RGB plane, each right. So you have RGB plane. Under these RGB, each plane has 0 to 255 value, right? Each plane. So now the combination, right? So the combination 0 to 55 cross 0 to 55. So imagine this many numbers and then cross 0 to 255. Right? Cross represents a multiplication. So 2 power 8 into 2 power 8 into 2 power 8. This many number of colors for 8-bit image itself. Right? So we move to 0 to 255 into this many number of colors, 2 power 24 colors. So imagine nowadays you are using 128-bit system, right? Or 256-bit system. Assume that without loss of generality, I take 128-bit system, right? It should be system. So 128-bit system, how many colors you will have? You will have 2 power 128. Maybe I'm writing here 2 power 128 into 2 power 128 into 2 power 128. Right? So each RGB or this is for G, this is for G, B, red, green, and blue planes. So imagine when you are using 128-bit system in front of you, and then you can able to have this many number of colors, it looks like an original image. So this is how the technology has improved, right? From the gray level black and white system to the color, and people started processing the color images. Yes, we are in that world, right? The present era is in that world. You can able to see this many number of colors. So it looks like an original image. It looks like as if you are seeing in the natural phenomena or natural photograph, the continuous photograph that you are seeing, hot copy. All right. So this is how the technology is being improved based on the image processing, based on the concept of image processing. Fine. So now we know what is gray level image, what is color image. Now, yeah, I'll come to actual computer vision problem. So when you want to solve the computer vision problem, so as I said, computer vision is a superset. All right. So you have to apply deep learning, apply machine learning, all right, apply the concepts of image processing, artificial intelligence. You require mathematics. So physics is very much required for what I'm going to talk about. Right, the theory of computer vision, physics is very much required. You need signal processing, right? Of course, when you are doing deep learning problem, pattern recognition is playing a vital role. Deep learning or machine learning, right? So you are using all these parts, and then we call it as a computer vision, right? So for the layman, if I want to explain what if computer sees, right? We know that what if human sees. So if human sees, you are able to see the complete entire world. All right, whatever the field of view that you can able to cover. Suppose you are in a ground. Assume that you can see 15 kilometers in all the directions. Okay, your field of view can cover 15 kilometers of, right, the entire nature. Correct. So in a similar way, can computer see? That is called computer vision. Okay, so in order to do this, we have to do several algorithms, right? So you have come across several algorithms. You have come across various subjects like image processing, AI, mathematics, etc. Right? So what exactly this process is being done for human vision, and then we will go to computer vision. So assume that you have 3D objects. A man is there, a tree is there. All right. So in your eyes, assume that almost all the living being, including human being, right? So we have two eyes, a left eye and right eye. So this 3D object will be stored as a 2D image. All right. So every eye, each eyes are considered as cameras. Right. Both the eyes are considered as cameras. In the camera, you have, right, what do you call convex lens. So two convex lenses are there for the left eye and right eye. So now the problem is from the retina. See, you will have an image in the retinal plane. In the human being, this 3D object's image will be stored as a 3D objects, right, will be stored as images in the retinal plane. We call it as retina, right? And if you are using a camera, you call it as an image plane. The mobile phone that you are using, you are seeing a photograph, means that is an image plane. Correct? So in the image plane, it will be stored as images, left image and right image. So now from the left image and right image, we are able to reconstruct the 3D. That is what this is happening. Right? All these are happening within a fraction of a second. Right? So what we are seeing in the 3D world, right? So it's unimaginable. It is being stored first due to the reflection from the light, sunlight, etc. It is through convex lens. It is going to our retina. From the retina, we are able to see this 3D world reconstruction. The problem is nothing but the reconstruction of 3D objects from 2D images. Right? Precisely, if I have to tell, it is a problem of reconstruction, 3D objects from 2D images. So we are having two 2D images in our retinal plane. So from these 2D images, we are able to reconstruct the 3D world. So now, assume that if I take only this camera, right? Assume that I am taking only the left eye, this particular eye, right? This particular, I will replace this by a camera. Right? I will replace whatever eyes that I am seeing, I will replace by cameras when I talk about computer vision. So we will focus on this camera, only one camera. Assume that only one image I am considering, and then we will see what will happen. All right, I'll just use the board to explain this concept. So let us consider a 3D. Let us consider, suppose assume that you are whatever we have seen. I'll just go back there. So whatever we have seen, this is a 3D, right? So from this 3D, assume that we are projecting into 2D. So we consider the entire scenario, only one camera I am right now, I will consider. Entire scenario, let us assume that we project in XZ plane, right? You will have XYZ coordinate, right? So you will have XYZ coordinate. So what I will do, I will project in XZ plane. Okay, so we will see. So the XZ plane. All right. So when I project this, what exactly happened? So assume that I have a 3D object, maybe without loss of generality, we consider a straight line itself. We have to use a convex lens. So we will use the elliptical convex lens. Fine. So assume that you have a 2D object. You have a 3D object. I'll draw the arrow. So before that, we will complete the scenario of the convex lens. So now the question is, assume that this is a 3D object. Let us say AB. No object, because I am projecting this in the XZ plane. AB is your object, right? And this is your convex lens. And O is the center of projection. Let us say that is O. And this is a convex lens. I write CL. CL stands for convex lens. So when you project this object in the screen, right? So let us assume that the screen is nothing but a 2D image plane, right? So you are projecting this in image plane. Correct? So this will be of the form, so this will be your A dash and this will be your B dash. So this is your object. AB is your object. So through convex lens, it will be in the inverted position. So this is what exact scenario. So suppose if I consider the human vision, so this is your retinal plane. I draw it as, I say it as a retina. Now, what is the definition of a focal length? Focal length is nothing but the distance from the center of projection in the convex lens to the image plane or retinal plane. So that is your focal length. You call it as F. Right? And the distance in the image plane, we call it as capital X. And the original object's distance is X. And then distance between your center of projection to this object, where the object is, right? We call it as Z. So this distance is Z. So this distance we call it as Z. So now you can have two triangles. One triangle is OAB and another triangle is OA dash B dash. These two are similar triangles, right? So these two are similar triangles. So we call it, this is Z. I am writing same. Right now you can see that the relation X by F is equal to X by Z. Right. So now in the retinal plane or image plane, your image is in the inverted position. This is your straight line. AB is a straight line, but here it is straight means AB. It is like B dash A dash, retinal plane. Then I said, you may ask the question, then in the mobile phone, how I am seeing as a straight, or when you are seeing this lecture, how this is being straight. Okay. So the reason is just a reflection towards the bigger triangle OAB. So OA dash B dash, we are going to do the reflection. So how we will do, we'll see. So it is nothing but, I'll just draw the line. So I'll keep OAB as it is. So now what I have done, if you look at the previous figure, so I just have done the reflection. So A dash will be here, B dash, AB. All right. So now if you look, for example, this is your retinal plane. I am projecting your retinal plane here. Right. So I'm projecting your retinal plane here. I have inverted. So retinal plane will be here. So this is the reason when you see the image in either your laptop or your mobile, it looks like the same like whatever you are taking whatever you are seeing the 3D world, right? It is just a reflection. If you look at the original scenario, this is what the original scenario, the one we have seen earlier is the original scenario, right? So this is the original scenario, the one you are seeing here. So this is the original scenario. This is what exactly happening. So then after, right, reflecting your OB dash A dash towards OAB, the resultant looks like this, right? The resultant scenario is this. So this is the one you can able to see the image exactly like a same position, correct? So here also the values are same, right? The values, this will be your focal length, this will be your capital X, this will be your small x, and this will be your Z. All the values, all the parameters are going to be same. So again, OAB and OA dash B dash are the similar triangles, right? And then you will get the first equation like this. When I project this in the XZ plane, so I am getting like this. All right. So this is the scenario. This is the actual scenario that we had seen. The actual scenario that we had seen. So now you all might have understood why this 3D object here in the 2D image, it is represented as in the same position, not an inverted position. Now you have done the reflection. Your center of projection O is here. Okay. So this I have done based on XZ plane, when I project in XZ plane, right? My question is, we have another plane, let us say YZ plane, right? If I project the same scenario in YZ plane, what will happen? Just replace X by Y. So what will you get? Y by F is equal to Y by Z. I'm just replacing X by Y. Equation number 2. See, now these two equations will teach you what is computer vision, what is image processing, what is computer graphics, right? So how? For example, suppose, what is the computer vision problem I talked about? So it is nothing but you are just having image values, image coordinates, right? Suppose your input, let us say your input is, because I'm going to talk about only these two equations. So suppose my input is, let us say, image X and Y, capital X and capital Y, and let us say focal length. Focal length is also given to you. And I want to solve the problem for X, Y, Z. I want to find out these. So 2D is given, right? 2D data is given. Can I find 3D? So now go to your basic linear algebra concept. You are given 2 equations and 3 unknowns, right? So once again, I'll just put my battery is draining. I'll just put the power cord. Right? Suppose the 2D data is given, you have to find out 3D. Right? I'll go to the basic linear algebra. Given 2 equations, both are linear equation. The equation number 1 and 2 is a simple linear equation. So from these 2 equations, and there are 3 unknowns, X, Y, Z, small x, small y, small z are unknown. Is it possible to find the solution? Yes, you can find the solution, but it will give infinitely many solutions. All right, when you're solving 2 equations for 3 unknowns, it will give infinitely many solutions. So we are coming to the conclusion that if you want to solve the computer vision problem, one camera is not enough. Right? So if I go to the scenario, suppose I have only one image, is it possible to reconstruct the 3D? You can reconstruct, but you will get infinitely many solutions because you have two equations, very basic equation, and there are two unknowns, or three unknowns, x, y, z. So this problem is called computer vision, right? I call it a CV. CV stands for computer vision. Correct? So when you process this with the help of this x and y, right? You are given an image coordinates, you are given an image. So you are doing image processing. Then what is the another one? Third one is computer graphics. What do you mean by computer graphics? Exactly the inverse problem. Right? Computer graphics, what you are doing, for example, you want to construct a home. So you are making a model in your 2D screen, making a 3D model in your 2D screen. Then you are doing translation, scaling, rotation, etc. Rendering. So that means 3D to 2D. That means X, Y, Z is the input. It is just a reverse. Your X, Y, Z is the input. And you have to find capital X and Y, capital X and capital Y. Even F also you take as an input. So that means 3D will be input, right? The 3D data will be input. You have to find the 2D. So two equations and two unknowns. Problem is simple. You can always get a unique solution. So computer graphics problem, when you are projecting 3D to 2D, not very difficult. But whereas, right, when I solve the problem of computer vision, it is slightly a complicated process because I have only two equations and three unknowns. Can I solve with the help of a single camera or single eye? You will get an infinite number of solutions. You may get a solution, but it is infinite number. So that is the reason we are having all the living being are having two eyes. All right. So God knows this mathematical model. Correct. So that is the reason every being, not only human being, we are having two eyes. So we require the second eye to see this 3D world. So computer vision point of view, we need two cameras, two images, at least two images to reconstruct the 3D world. All right, I need these two images. So if I have these two images, I can able to reconstruct the 3D world. Right? So now I can formulate two more mathematical equations based on the second camera. Right? Now I use the second camera. So when I use the second camera, what are all the mathematical equations I can formulate? So now imagine your one eye is situated at 0, 0, 0 origin. Right? Another eye is situated at XD, YD, ZD. Right? Basically, this will be like this. Right? One image. This is one image plane. One eye is situated here. Right? Your center of projection is this. This is the camera image plane, and another eye is situated here. Right? This is a camera. Right? That is a screen. So one eye, if you look at, if I take that as the origin, 0, 0, 0 as the origin. Correct? Another eye, some b distance apart. Right? So it will be b0, 0. Your second eye's center of projection is at b0, 0. Or I can take xd 0, 0, xd. Right? xd 0, 0. The distance, certain distance. If you look at, assume that our face is a plane, more or less it is a plane. So one eye center of projection is situated at 0, 0, 0. Another one is situated at xd 0, 0. Right? So in that case, my mathematical model goes like this. Right? I can have, because I am going to have two cameras, so I'll make this is x1. all right, and this is y1. So for second image, I will have, for second image, I'll use here. For second image, I will have x2 by f is equal to x minus xd, because you have the distance, by z. So this will be your third equation. And y2 by f will be equal to y minus yd. Sorry, yd is not there, so we don't require yd, because xd is 0, 0, yd is 0. So y by z. Y by z. Okay, so I'll rub this out. Okay, so it's y by z. So that will be your fourth equation. Now you will have, what are all the input? I am just going for the computer vision problem. So you have x1, y1, second image x2, y2, and you have a focal length. These are all your input. So let us say these are all your input. And what is your output? X, Y, Z. So you have now 4 equations and 3 unknowns. Can you solve the problem? Yes, you can solve the problem. So what you can do, first 3 equations, you solve for X, Y, Z and substitute in the fourth equation. So if it is satisfied, then your system is consistent. Okay, so therefore, if you look at the real scenario, we need 2 cameras, we need 2 eyes to see this entire world, right? So this is the reason, right? God knows this mathematical model. So we have 2 eyes. So this concept is being imposed in computer vision problem. So 2 images, 2 cameras take an image from different directions, exactly like a human eye, right? Because of these 4 equations. These 4 equations are called collinearity equations. The reason I am calling collinearity equation, suppose if you consider this is a 3D point, a blue in color. Okay, this is a 3D point, and you can see the image also, the 2D point, 2D image, the same point, and then you have the center of projection. All will lie on a line. Similarly for the second image. So these lines will intersect at a point, right? If you take any 3D straight line, it will intersect at a point, right? In fact, we are solving the consistent equation. If it is consistent, yes, you are going to get a solution. You may ask the question, what will happen if both are parallel? It is not possible, right? Otherwise, the entire human system or any living being system cannot reconstruct the 3D world. So it will intersect, because the 4 equations that you are solving is a consistent one. So that is the reason all the human being, in fact every living being, are having 2 eyes. So we call this as a stereo vision, right? Technical term, I'm going to computer vision point of view. Same concept you apply in computer, it's called computer vision. Same concept you apply in robotics, you call robotic vision. Okay. So this is a perfect stereo. The human vision is a perfect stereo. So from this perfect stereo, we talked about these 4 equations. And these are all called collinearity equations. So this is how your human eye is related to, right? Human vision is related to computer vision. So 1981, there was a paper in Nature. Since they have related our human eye to the computer eye, I call it as a computer eye. Right, 1981. There was a paper that I think I have not seen any other paper in Nature in computer vision field. So you can just Google how you can relate the human vision to computer vision. 1981, there was a paper in Nature. It was published in Nature. Right? And then you can see a simple 4 equations. It doesn't require a big nonlinear mathematics. Correct? So the third and fourth equation goes like this. I just replace the small x values for that world coordinate W. So when you're solving these, and then you can see, what about the focal length? The human being, we are having 2 eyes. Are the focal length same? You can Google, it is not same. Both are not same. At least those who are wearing specs, you know the answer. Both the focal lengths will be differing from by some points, very minute points. So both are not same. So therefore we take one as f1, that is a focal length 1, and in the next case we will take another one as focal length 2. Right? So here we are taking focal length 2. Same mathematical model. So now equation 3 equations, you can put 3 unknowns. Solve for 3 equations and 3 unknowns. Solve for xw, yw, zw. Correct? And then if you put this equation, put the values in the 4th equation, the yw, zw value, so you will get the system is consistent. Right? You will find that the system is consistent. You will get the unique answer, the unique solution. So that is the reason whenever we are able to see this 3D world, we can able to reconstruct perfectly. So almost I took 1 hour to explain only the concept of reconstruction of a point. So imagine the research goes like this. The research went like this, in fact. So from a point, the researchers try to reconstruct a 3D line, right? Because any man-made objects, you can see a straight line in the structure. For example, you take a building, you take a table, you take a chair, you take a TV, right? Any man-made objects, so you can find 3D straight line. Then the research went for 3D plane. Then the complicated surfaces. So they model, right? They use with a sphere, ellipsoid, cube, etc. Because they have an object and then they try to reconstruct. Right? They were successful. And then they try to reconstruct entire world. This is how the research goes. Right? Entire world in the sense whatever scenario that you are seeing. And also when you are looking this 3D world, right? Imagine you are in a ground and looking this 3D world. And I'm asking, what is the shape that you are seeing this 3D world? Have you ever imagined? What is the shape that you are seeing? It's almost like the 2 cones are intersecting. Because your field of view is like a conical, right? When you look at the scenario that I projected, I'll just go to that particular slide. The scenario that you are seeing, it is a semi-infinite pyramid shape, right? So it goes like this. One view goes like this. I'm just roughly drawing. Another view goes like this, right? So these are intersecting. This common area we can able to see. So semi-pyramid, assume that it is a 3D, right? The line goes like this. These lines are going. Similarly, these 2 lines are going. So they are all semi-pyramid. So this common area, common field of view, right? So this common field of view we are able to see. That is what we are able to see. So it is nothing but the intersection of 2 infinite semi-pyramid, because it is starting from here only, the image plane, the retinal plane. Or some of the books you can find, it is the intersection of 2 cones, 2 right circular cones. So you will not find any 3D geometrical shape. I cannot relate to any sphere or ellipsoid or cube, etc. So you are seeing Assume that two cones are intersecting, right? Two right circular cones are intersecting, or two semi-infinite pyramids are intersecting. This is the shape that we are seeing in the 3D world. All right, and like this, the concept of computer vision evolved from the human vision. Okay, I hope the things are clear. So now, when I discuss about this, so if I talk about, anyway, you have equations, everything, not a problem. So when I talk about the three different fields, computer vision, image processing, and computer graphics. So in the case of image processing, I deal with this capital X1, capital Y1, capital X2, capital Y2. That what the image data you are handling, right? You are using, in fact, part of it. You are thinking deep learning is a very big subject, but when you compare to computer vision, you are doing part of this X and Y, part of this capital X and Y. You are collecting in terms of data. Somebody may be working in medical imaging, somebody may be working in face recognition, somebody may be working in fingerprint recognition, right? Somebody is analyzing the video data, action recognition, right? All these data, if you see, whatever I taught this X and Y, capital X and Y, that's it. You have the complicated problem called small x, small y, small z. All right. So image processing point of view, we are talking only capital X and Y. And computer graphics is a very elegant problem. 3D model is projecting onto 2D. Whenever you are going from 3D to 2D, higher dimension to less dimension is not at all a problem. It's an easy problem. Whereas computer vision is a very complicated problem, and now you know why we are having two eyes. Why at least two images are being used, right? So now I'll just go to the final talk. So now you're familiar here. You have these equations. Solve it, substitute in fourth equation, get the answer. Now, if you imagine birds' eyes, they are not like a human. So the human eye, the eyes are lying in the plane, the face. Whereas in the case of the plane face, I mean to say. Whereas in the case of bird, you can see one eye is in one direction like this. The scenario is like this. One eye is situated like this and another eye is situated like this. So bird's eye view. You might have heard the word bird's eye view. So when the bird sees the 3D world, it is not like a human vision. So slightly you have to make your coordinate system in general. You use focal length 1, focal length 2, and you need translation and rotation parameters. Right? Translation and rotation. So the equation, the first two equations are same. The fifth and sixth equation from the left eye. The first two equations, what we have seen the human vision, it is same for bird's eye view also. But whereas the seventh and eighth equation, we require the theta, phi, psi, Eulerian angles to do translation and rotation. So again, you are going to get same two equations, seventh and eighth. So solve 5, 6, 7, get x dash, y dash, z dash, substitute in the eighth, you will get the output. In fact, you are solving for xw, yw, zw. Okay, you are solving for xw, yw. You will always get, not a problem. Okay. So, what are all the applications? So, this, as I said, not only for a 3D line, you can think of 3D curve, right? For example, a trajectory, the racket that is going, or the aeroplane that is going, or somebody is throwing the ball. So they are all parabola, right? So can I reconstruct this parabola? Or if I want to work with the robo for the robotic vision, path planning is some curve or a straight line, right? The researchers have done. For example, a robo wants to move in one place to another place, okay, it forms certain entity, geometrical entity. It may be a straight line, it may be a curve, it may be a elliptical path, it may be a circular path. So we can able to reconstruct. 2D data will be given, 3D data can be reconstructed. Right? So for example, sports like cricket, right? You know LBW decision. LBW decision is based on Hawkeye camera system. I talked about 2 cameras. So the Hawkeye, they have 6 cameras, right? So the 6 cameras situated like this. One camera is here, second camera is this, third camera is this, fourth is this, fifth is this, and sixth is this, right? So when we have 6 cameras, the main idea is whenever a bowler is bowling the ball, the path is nothing but a projectile, right? So this is nothing but a parabolic path, right? This is a parabolic path. So can we able to reconstruct this parabolic data from these 6 cameras? So you have 6 cameras. So from 6 cameras, if you look, it will cover the entire pitch. So now all these cameras will capture the path of the ball. Correct? So then again you are doing, so you will have a data. So this will have x1, y1, second will have x2, y2, and so on. So in general, you will have xi1 and yi1. I'll write 1, should be 1. Because the second camera will have x2, y2, or simply I will write xi, yi. I goes from 1 to 6. So you have 6 image data. So from this 6 image data, you will have a parabolic path, right? It is in the 2D parabola. And then it is pitching and hitting, or sometimes a full toss ball. So all will form a parabola one. So now the question is, you can able to reconstruct at some point of time, and then it is stucking in the pad. Then after this, we are extrapolating whether it is hitting the wicket or not. Right? It is based on the computer vision problem. So 6 cameras are there. From the 6 cameras, we are able to reconstruct the 3D parabola. So Hawkeye, everybody is watching cricket, and when you look at the umpires, right, umpire's call and review, right, Hawkeye is helping whether the ball is hitting the wicket or not, right? It is a perfect computer vision problem. Okay. And also the line call in tennis. Line call in tennis. So again, they are using 6 cameras, right? So you may see in the US Open. US Open, sometimes the ball will go in or out. The player can challenge. So you can see here there are 6 cameras capturing the ball tracking. Right? They are tracking the balls. So 6 cameras are being used. So all 6 cameras, you have 6 images. I mean to say the video. It is again, each video can be represented as a image form, right? Frames. So again, I can talk about the image. So from these images, they are able to reconstruct the ball track, which is forming the parabolic path. And then when it is hitting, whether it is in or out, right? You can see like this. So you watch, I think you may watch in few days US Open. So you see the Hawkeye camera. So Hawkeye, it is application of computer vision, right? So these are all some of the applications that I had given, and also you can able to see this paper, right, which is appeared in Image and Vision Computing by Peter Muir. I am not the author, Peter Muir. Are we making real progress in computer vision today? So you can find it's a single line abstract. It's one of the good journal, Image and Vision Computing. So if you look at the abstract, he has given only 1 line, and paper is about 1.25 pages with no reference. right? So he himself is asking the question, are we making a real progress in computer vision? What I taught is, even though it's an old mathematical theory, but you can see the applications. The Hawkeye, in terms of sports, I said, you can see several applications, but all are using the old mathematical theory only. So that is the reason he talked about this paper. Are we making real progress in the computer vision today? All right. So the answer is saying, you can read this paper. You just Google the paper. The title of the paper is, are we making real progress in computer vision today? Just Google it and you can find 1.25 pages paper, right? Peter Muir, where I did my postdoc in Rutgers University way back in 2002-3 at New Jersey, USA. So he is one of the big shot. So he himself is saying, we are not making any progress in terms of solving the nonlinear equations. So we are all very much inclined to solving the problem in image processing. That means a 2D data, right? See, whatever the data that you are handling, whether it is whether it is a video problem or image problem, we are settled with this XY. Right? We are settled with this XY. So collect the data. If it is a medical image processing, get the data and apply the deep learning concept, apply the machine learning concept, get the output. Right? The entire world is doing now. Whereas we forgot the computer vision. Right? So nobody is trying to solve this small xyz because it's a very hard nonlinear problem. Imagine a tree is there, we can able to reconstruct within a fraction of a second. Right? So within the invention of several computational, right, several computational facility, we cannot reconstruct within a fraction of a second. So imagine the relation between the human brain and the retinal plane. So we can able to see whatever the 3D world, whatever the objects that you are looking for, whether it is a tree, whether it is a river, whether it is a sea, we can able to do within a fraction of a second. Whereas in the computer field, can we solve this small x, small y, small z? It may be of the form sphere, it may be of the form cone, it may be an undefined entity. So are we making any progress? The answer is no, because we are sticking on the deep learning, right, image processing or video processing problem. So entire world is doing to solve this capital X and Y only, not small x, small y, small z. That is why this paper arises. You can Google this. Are we making real progress in computer vision today? So another thing, you can tell your students that this is just a one-line abstract. I don't know how many of you come across an abstract with a one line. And then the paper itself only 1.25 pages. And also no references. So what he is saying, we are inclined to, right? You are going to see many deep learning lectures, many machine learning lectures. And everybody is going to talk about this capital X and Y one. And this is the eye opener, because I talked about human eye, right? Think about small x, small y, small z, solving small x, small y, small z. Okay, so this is all about your basics of computer vision. And so this is the reference, a computer vision, a modern approach by Fortune Pons, Forsyth. You can see the author's name here. So I just talk about their first chapter. All right. So thank you all. If you have any questions, I can answer. Go back to the. Yeah. If you have any questions, Ambed Kumar, are you there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So are there any questions?
Uh, Participant, if any question, raise the hand. So I will put the permission to the
Book
unmuted
name.
your wall.
Somebody is asking book name. Book name is Computer Vision, a modern approach. Prasanti is asking book name.
Or otherwise put the chat box, right? If any question.
So if you have any questions, you can unmute your mic and then you can ask.
Yes.
Book name. Computer Vision, a modern approach. Yeah, chat box, you are getting the answer. Ambed Kumar, there is a question.
Yes. Yes.
Pooja,
Yes.
Pooja and Dr. Prasanti wanted. You just,
Yes. Unmute.
if you want, you can unmute. Some
Yes,
of the
sir.
participants can ask the question.
Yes. Pooja ma'am, I will allow to the right.
Anil K. Jain is another book. Another famous book is by Anil K. Jain. Amrita said an eye opener. Yeah, eye opener session for computer vision. Yeah, thank you, Amrita. So, Dr. Prasanti, there is a book called Anil K. Jain. Anil K. Jain is a good book for computer vision. Very nice explanation of CV. So, Pooja, can you ask the question? I think you have raised the hand. Ambed Kumar, can you unmute the mic of Pooja?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Pooja
Sir,
Prasanna.
already I will allow, sir. Ma'am, can you talk, ma'am? Pooja, ma'am. I give the permission.
What are the research issues on computer vision? Research Modi asked a question. Research issues is, yeah, it's very difficult to solve the nonlinear equation. Assume that I talked about a simple point reconstruction. So when I go for a any right nonlinear, let us say even curve, even a parabola, or any nonlinear surfaces, the equations become nonlinear and it is very difficult to solve. So that is the issue, right, in computer vision. Yeah, still people are working. For example, one of my students who is a scientist in DRDO, he took up the what? Only thing, getting a publication in this field is difficult. So that is the reason many researchers, they are not able to concentrate on solving this small x, small y, small z. How to interpret real distance with computer vision? Yeah, the problem is called depth from stereo. So you have to find out this depth information. And there is a problem called shape from shading. All right, so this is a question asked by Samadullah Jagadish. Great connect to the optical problem. Yeah. Pooja is not able to unmute. Yeah, Brajesh, it is a very good question. In fact, I wanted to tell. Yeah, with one eye you can able to reconstruct, but I said you will get infinite number of solutions. So it is not a exact one what you are saying. It's an approximate one. Right? With the closing of one eye, whatever you are seeing, it is the approximated one. Right? So therefore, the infinite. See, the idea is whenever you're somebody wants to shoot, right? You close one eye. The idea is on that along that line, you can able to see infinite number of solution. So that is the reason whenever you see the shooter will close one eye. Right? The reason is Since you have infinite number of solution, you are going along that line. So when I'm opening only one eye, when I'm closing another eye, right? So you cannot say it is not a multiple solution. The reason is it is an approximated one, right? The output you are getting is the approximated one. You will not get the multiple one. It's a God's creation. What needs to be concentrated in this research if you are scholars? Renuka asked the question. Yeah, see, you require a very good mathematical knowledge, particularly a projective geometry. All right, whatever I talked is a basic geometry. So you require, it's called a projective geometry, right? Vision geometry. Also call it as a vision geometry. So if you concentrate in all these directions, you can able to solve. Vision geometry, particularly you have to concentrate vision. Sir, my question is differences between computer vision and computer graphics in detail. So computer vision, as I said, the problem from 2D to 3D. From 2D images in your eyes, you are able to reconstruct 3D. And computer graphics the other way around. The 3D model you are projecting onto the 2D. Case study reference, you just go to my website. You can see several papers on computer vision. My earlier part of work, in fact, my complete PhD thesis is computer vision. Prashanti asked the question. So case study reference, you can talk about the camera calibration, all right, the CCTV analysis, all these you can do as a case study. Yeah, basically you study the Forge book and Anil K. Jain book on computer vision initially. So then slowly you will get various research papers on the vision geometry. Yeah, my website you are asking, right? I should have projected. 1 second. What I will do, anyway, I'll put the conclusion slide on there. I will give you my so you had several questions. I almost answered. Maybe I'll take some of the questions. Offline because the next speaker has to talk. So in my lab, so we are doing. Yeah, I'll come to you. We are right doing a project for DRDO, SCRB, or we have already done some projects with MIT and IIT are also sponsored. Right, some of the instruments, and we have done a project for Samsung. And I thank all my machine vision laboratory students. Thanks to Department of Computer Science as well as Center for Artificial Intelligence and Robotics. And here you can see my lab website where you can get various data set. Right, some of you asked the question of case studies, etc. So you can find this in my website because in 1 hour talk I cannot right cover my entire 25 years career of my research. So you can find in this lab website, and this is my official website. The one you are seeing here is the official website, and this is my email ID. The last one is my email ID. So if you have any questions, anything you want to discuss, you can always drop an email.
So once again, yes, once again, I thank you, sir, for your valuable session. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. So all the participants kindly take break for the 15 minutes. Next session will start from 10:45 minutes, right? So join at the areas. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Ambed Kumar. I'm leaving.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.